Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here on the NOFSRL channel, and we are here at the Pocono Raceway in Long Pond, Pennsylvania to qualify for our doubleheader weekend here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. This will be the only qualifying session of the weekend because after tomorrow's Kalahari Resorts 350, which is the race we are qualifying for, we will do a field invert. The top 20 finishers in tomorrow's race will invert and start in their reverse positions of where they finish within the top 20, and then finishing positions 21 through 42 will start in the same positions they finished the prior day for the next race, which is the Herr's Forever Good 400 on Saturday morning. And that means that for these uncharted guys, they're qualifying to be in 2 races this weekend. So the top 2 finishers here in qualifying, the top 2 fastest drivers, will be in both the Kalahari Resorts 350 tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Time and the Herr's Forever Good 400 Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time as well. Joined alongside Marty Zakela. And Marty, this is definitely something I think you were looking at to do in the New Era Cup Series, and eventually in the future it's probably going to happen, but what are you most looking forward to with this doubleheader weekend here for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, especially considering that we're really close to the end of the regular season?
You know, I'm really looking forward to the invert a lot because you're probably going to expect near the front a bunch of the leaders in points, a bunch of the front runners we've seen, and then when you have the invert, remember this is a completely different I&I and a new track that the NOFSRL is using at Pocono Raceway this season. When you have the invert, it may not really come down to where you're at, where you're starting. It's not going to be one of those cycle races. This is going to be pretty much, you want to qualify as high as possible, get that track position.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see how this race plays out tomorrow, with only being 28 laps to start off, but then the traditional 32-lap race is going to happen Saturday morning as well. But like Marty said, it's not a very easy place to work your way from the back to the front. We're going to see passing for the race lead. It's not impossible at all, but it's going to be kind of similar to what we saw at Chicagoland last weekend, where those guys start in the back, they're not going to be able to move their way through the field as well as the rest of the field. So it'll definitely be interesting. Definitely want to get that good starting position. Of course, here in Uncharted qualifying, you want to be one of the best guys, and that's what these guys are going for. 07 is Chloe Reiner, 08 is Bobo Jones, 21 of Ashlin Boyd, 55 of Owen Miles, 57, you see right here, is Seth Cole, 67 of Trey Smith, 71 of Hunter Blade, and the 98 of Joshua Rush. Those are the 8 drivers looking to make it into the Kalahari Resorts 350 and the Herr's Forever Good 400. So these guys are qualifying for 2 races. There will not be qualifying for the Herr's Forever Good 400. Like I mentioned, we're going to invert the top 20 positions, and then 21st through 42nd will start in the respective positions they finished for the Kalahari Resorts 350. So another thing, too, this first race is going to be shorter than any other race we've had at a super speedway before. 350 miles shortened, of course, to 20% of the length. How's that short distance play into the strategy we might see in tomorrow's race?
Well, I believe we have the pit frequency at Pocono as well set to 2x and a fuel window, probably about 20 to 25 laps. A yellow would definitely put everything out of sequence. But if this race does go green the entire way, oh man, get ready.
It's about a 20-21 lap fuel window. It doesn't range as wide as that in 2003, but these guys definitely are going to play some strategy, I believe. It depends on the lap that you come down. If you actually remember the 2017 Chick-fil-A Cup Series race here, which was Caleb Hoffman's last win in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, he actually waited until the end to come down, and he had enough time, or should I say, he had few enough laps where he could just go fuel only, and he jumped the rest of the field to get his final career win. So strategy really comes into play here at Pocono, and we got 2 races for these guys to do it too, so it's going to be fun to see how it all goes down. You got the 07 there of Chloe Reiner, fastest, with the 67 of Trey Smith, second quickest. Good jump there for the 07 Velocistar Racing machine right there. That 07 hasn't been in too many races so far this season. We'll have to see if Chloe Reiner can get her spot into a Chick-fil-A Cup Series race. I believe it would be her first ever start in this series if she in fact qualifies her way in. We've so far have had 24 drivers from the Turk Hill Series advance their way in. We have about 5 drivers in the series who are owners, so that leaves 35 guys who are eligible for the Turkey Hill hot seat, which means there are 11 drivers still left who have yet to get inside a Chick-fil-A Cup Series race this season. We're well past halfway through the season as well, but it's looking good for Chloe Reiner, looking good for the 08 of Bobo Jones, who had a bit of drafting help there from the 07. He will go to the 2nd position there. And with how big the track is, even though it's a flat super speedway, drafting still comes into play, and you saw right there with the 08 that affected him in a positive manner, and I believe these 2 drivers are going to be the 2 who advance on to this weekend's races, both the Kalahari Resorts 350 and the Herr's Forever Good 400.
And actually, Napa, I want to mention as well, this is actually a special place for both you and I. If we go back to 2018, yeah, this is where we met up together, out of nowhere.
Yeah, it wasn't that far out of nowhere. We both knew we were going to be there.
That's true, yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, we were both in the infield. I recognized his voice, and then I looked over to my left, and there's that silly-looking kid with the Beats headphones, just like he was showing in his videos.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We poke way too much fun at you, Marty. We're sorry. Chloe Reiner and Bobo Jones are going to be advancing on. They will be racing in both races this weekend here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. They're going to join the other 40 full-time drivers to qualify for the Kalahari Resorts 350. And the finish of that race on Friday will determine the starting order for how they line up for the Herr's Forever Good 400 on Saturday. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll get to full-time qualifying for the Kalahari Resorts 350 right now. And here we go, ready to set the starting lineup for tomorrow's first of 2 races in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series here from the Pocono Raceway. Kalahari Resorts 350, 28 laps tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Napa Fan. And this qualifying session here, this 10-minute session, will determine the starting lineup for that race. Should be interesting. This is the only race we're going to be doing qualifying for this weekend, as the Herr's Forever Good on Saturday will have that field invert based off of the results in the Kalahari Resorts 350 tomorrow. So it's going to be interesting to see how this whole weekend goes. 2 races for these guys this weekend, which means that these points are really going to shake up by the time we reach the end of the day on Saturday. For Sam Edoskin has really pulled out to a significant lead at this point, 70 points ahead of the cutoff. With that win that he got at Chicagoland last weekend, odds are he'll probably be able to make the chase. I don't think there's going to be enough to knock him out of that. But as for everybody else, you got Shane Lake 46 ahead, Alexander O 42 ahead, then Nathan Baird 26 ahead. 4th in points is only 26 ahead of the cutoff, so not many guys are really solidified their positions. Sam Edoskin, Shane Lake, Alexander O are pretty good, but as for the rest of the field, you know, 1 race and they could be out of the chase just like that. So it's going to be interesting to see who gets it done here. There's the Herr's machine. Of course, it's the Herr's weekend here at Pocono. Of course, they're sponsoring the 2nd race, the traditional 400-mile race. Officially, this race, the Kalahari Resorts 350, is a new race to the schedule. The Herr's Forever Good 400 is the traditional Pocono race that we've had in past years. Of course, Pocono has been on the schedule in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series for every single season. And at the end of this weekend, it will be the 4th most used track on the schedule. I believe tying Bristol. So definitely a very widely used racetrack. We have 2 races here in Season 3, and we're going to have 2 races here this weekend. The Herr's Forever Good 400 on Saturday will in fact be the 12th ever race at Pocono for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. But first time we're using the 2018 version. Let me tell you, this is a pretty good version of the Pocono Raceway. It's going to be fun watching these guys go around this tricky triangle. 28 laps tomorrow, 32 laps on Saturday, and Turkey Hill Series coming later today over on Napa Fan for their first ever trip to the Pocono Raceway. So we're definitely looking forward to all the races here at the Tricky Triangle this weekend, including New Era Cup Series on Sunday for the PPG Paints 400. Pretty sure that's what the sponsor is. Don't think Marty's back yet, so I can't get a confirmation on that. But they got 40 laps, so the races keep on getting longer. Starts with 20 laps for the Turkey Hill Series, 28 laps for the first Chick-fil-A Cup Series race, 32 laps for the 3rd, or should I say the 2nd, Chick-fil-A Cup Series race, and then 40 laps for the New Era Cup Series race. So definitely looking forward to that. Cody Sill, currently fastest right now in qualifying. And qualifying is rather significant here at Pocono. Like I mentioned in uncharted qualifying, it's difficult to work your way from the back to the front here. It's not the easiest track to make a run through the field. But if you start up front, you're going to have a good shot. How about Alexander Rowe, 25 to the top of the board. No surprise to see Alexander Rowe run strong. Of course, a two-time winner this season at Daytona and Phoenix. And honestly, if you took Daytona and Phoenix and squashed them together, I think this is the track you'd end up with. So, works out pretty well for him. Gatlin Downey, though, just went to the top of the board. 50.058. And Diego Yepes just went under 50 seconds in the 88 machine. And he's a guy who's 15th in points. He can close in on that chase if he happens to win tomorrow. That'll really help him out in his fight towards the championship. Ace Garcia, who has not had a good couple of races as of late here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. He ended up wrecking himself out of North Wilkesboro, and then he held up the field on the final lap at Chicagoland. Now Nathan Faden going to the top of the board in the number 12 machine. So it's Faden, Ace Garcia, Diego Yepes, Samit Ozkin, who got that shock victory at Chicagoland last week. He got around those guys, Jesse Turner and Zachary Fitzwater, to steal that race victory away from him. He is now in the 4th position, and Gatlin Downey is 5th. All 3 of the Hamill Racing Enterprises drivers inside the top 5 right now, with Alexander Rowe, Cody Sill, Eli Bright, LJ Semedo, and Brett Sear. A lot of rookies up front so far here in Kalahari Resorts 350 qualifying. We got the 77 here of Jesse Turner. Somebody moved their way through the field. Nathan Stapleton and Wyatt Quayle and Nicholas Samadillo. Actually, Samadillo just got pushed out by Mitchell Henderson. Mitchell Henderson with a good run. The 08 of Bobo Jones just went to 2nd. And of course, last weekend we had an uncharted driver start on the pole position, and the last time an uncharted driver won in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series was right here at the Pocono Raceway in Season 7 when Matt Tuck went to victory lane. So it's Faden, still the fastest in the 08 machine of Bobo Jones. That's actually not the 08 machine, that's Brett Sierra. Where is the 08? There's the 08 machine. Ace Garcia, Diego Yepes, Alexander Rowe, Nathan Stapleton. That's a good run for Stapleton because Stapleton comes in 9 points behind the cutoff. A top 10 run in both Pocono races would really help him out heading into Indianapolis next week in that final race before the chase. And watch out for the 97 of Nathan Stapleton this weekend. He could have a good shot at possibly even sweeping the races, I think. Sam and Ozkin, Mitchell Henderson, Nikolai Sykes, the top 10 right now. Then Nicholas Samadillo, Brad Stover, Gatlin Downey, Bradley Ream, Cody Sill, Eli Bright, LJ Semedo, Mark Davidson, Brett Sear, and Silas Orta. A lot of the veterans kind of in the back of the field here. You got Fitzwater in 21st, Matt Dallio 22nd, Nathan Baird 23rd. Of course, Dallio is one of those guys who lost a bit of ground there. He's currently holding on to the 2nd wild card after his win at North Wilkesboro, but he was running up front at Chicagoland last weekend and got wrecked out by, guess who, Ace Garcia. No one's really happy with that 81 so far, the past few races. Of course, it's definitely was a rough weekend for Ace Garcia last week. But currently 3rd fastest, looking to prove all the naysayers wrong. Possibly get his first win in quite some time. Last time he won a race in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series was Season 7 at Kentucky. So we'll have to see if he can finally pull off a victory for Hamill Racing Enterprises. His 2nd season with the team, but he has yet to get a race victory for these guys. Sam and Ozkin, though, has won 3 times for Hamill Racing Enterprises this season already. Should be a fun race tomorrow. Definitely intrigued to see how it all goes down. And these guys, they're going to be making moves all over the place as well. Very wild racetrack. That really, really long front stretch. Long Pond straightaway. Actually, this is the Long Pond straightaway off of turn 1 into turn number 2. The Pocono front stretch. Almost, if I'm not mistaken, a mile long. So it's definitely a really, really long and sweeping straightaway there, and we see these guys make moves. A very wide straightaway as well. They got a lot of room to make moves, and we're going to see them do that throughout the weekend here in all 3 series on Napa Fan. Or actually all 2 series. IndyCar's in Richmond this weekend. What am I saying? IndyCar's going to be here on Labor Day for their finale race. They'll get here eventually, but won't be today, won't be this weekend. But Turkey Hill Series coming up after qualifying here over on Napa Fan. And then, tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, it's the Kalahari Resorts 350 and the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, the first of 2 races. Then the Herr's Forever Good 400 on Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Definitely looking forward to seeing how it all shakes out. It does look like the number 12 machine of Nathan Faden will be leading us to the green flag for tomorrow's Kalahari Resorts 350. 49.702, fastest time there. And he'll lead the field to green with Bobo Jones starting alongside him in the 08 machine. No change in the top 10 in the past few minutes, so it looks like that's how they're going to line up. Good starting position there for Wyatt Quayle, if yet to mention him. He comes in 58 behind the wild card, and if he wins, that's going to give him a lot of points, but he still won't be able to hit that wild card. He's going to have Dalio and those guys. Fisher G has a lot of guys have issues if he's going to make that wild card, and it's been a tough season for Wyatt Quayle. Outside of that Bristol race victory, Thomas Troxel, I think Troxel is really going to need a miracle to have a shot. Overall, he's 39th in points, so, I mean, realistically, there's no deserving chance of making the chase at this point, but the Talladega winner, 80 points behind the cutoff in the wild card. Not a good season at all for Thomas Troxel in his rookie year. Even though he did get a race victory, it's been a rough few past races there for that 35 team. I'd like to mention this car, number 34, of course, Trey Wright, the owner of American Motorsports, and did the same thing last year, honoring his grandfather who passed away a couple years ago. Of course, this the home track for American Motorsports, home track for Trey Wright, and Cameron Garlington carrying the colors there for Trey Wright's grandfather, and definitely would love to see this car have a shot at victory lane in one of the 2 races. Garlington currently, see if I can find him, 36th fastest here in qualifying for the Kalahari Resorts 350. Of course, if he finishes inside the top 20, finishes around the 20th, 19th position tomorrow, that means that he'll start up front for the Herr's Live Life with Flavor, or should I say Herr's Forever Good 400 on Saturday. But if he finishes 21st tomorrow, then he'll start 21st on Saturday. So that's a close threshold right there for having a good starting position for the Saturday race. But one guy will have a good starting position for the Friday race. That's going to be Nathan Faden, and the number 12, who's going to win the pole for the Kalahari Resorts 350 here at Pocono. And we'll have to see what he can do as the race commences tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Time over on Napa Fan. Velocity Racing with a pole position right here. He'll start alongside Bobo Jones for the front row of the first race of the weekend for the Chick-fil-A Cup. His first of 2 races in this doubleheader weekend, with only 3 races remaining in the regular season. Nathan Faden, Bobo Jones, Ace Garcia, Wyatt Quayle, Diego Yepez, Alexander Rowe, Nathan Stapleton, Sam Manaskin, Mitchell Henderson, and Nikolai Sykes. The top 10 starting for tomorrow's Kalahari Resorts 350 here from Pocono. Take a look at the rest of the results right there. It's anybody's race. Strategy could come into play. We could have a long green flag run. We could have a big wreck. Who knows how it's going to play out? It's a tricky triangle in Pocono, and it's going to be a fun one here from my home state of Pennsylvania on my birthday weekend. I just forgot. I'm turning 21 on Monday. How about that? Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you guys at 6 p.m. tonight on Napa Fan for the Pocono Metalcraft 250 in the Turkey Hill Series. And like I mentioned, tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern on Napa Fan, it is the Kalahari Resorts 350 for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. And then Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, it's the Herr's Forever Good 400 for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series for the second of 2 races here at Pocono. We're going to invert the field at the end of the Kalahari Resorts 350 in the top 20, and then the 21st through 42nd positions will start in their respective finishing positions for the Herr's Forever Good 400 from the Kalahari Resorts 350. Hope you guys understand that. Same exact invert that NASCAR is doing in real life right now. And we're going to do that here for this Pocono weekend. So thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Nathan Faden, and I will see you guys later.